Banks don't care about you, and the government doesn't care about you. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll be able to start getting your own financials in order. I want to show you a couple articles today regarding the banks. And the first is, take a look at this. JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America. This year, the first quarter of 2024, first quarter being January, February, March, first 3 months of the year, they lost $4.5 billion. And if you look at this article, it'll show, or I'll just point out some things here. They talk about it's from customers that can't pay. So they're going to write this off. They're going to write off debts that they're owed. It's not like they were trading and they had some losses in bonds or losses in stocks, losses in bonds. They've been having that all last year. But this is from they lent out money, and or it sounds like most of this is from credit cards where people ran up debts, but they're just not going to pay. It's not like they're 30 days delinquent, 60 or 90. They're not paying at all. And they state that it's because interest rates are higher and inflation. Everyone's feeling that pain. We're all feeling the pain of interest rates are through the roof on these cards, personal loans, car loans, whatever. And then, of course, inflation on everything. So people are having a hard time, and you and others, paying just basic bills. I'm going to have a point to all of this. That was just this year. Last year, these banks, and I'll show this one article here. I think it was Bank of America had $130 billion in unrealized losses. JP Morgan had $40 billion in unrealized bond losses. Wells had $40 billion at one point of unrealized bond losses. These banks are losing money, and they're losing it hand over fist. So it's not just you. This isn't just impacting you. This is obviously impacting everyone. When businesses have a hard time getting loans at lower rates, it can affect their operations, of course. More people being laid off, you name it. So why should you care? You might think, finally, the bank, that I don't like the banks anyway, and now they're having problems, Well, it affects you. It affects you because when they have problems, then they tighten their lending standards, typically. So in other words, you might want to go now and get a loan for something, and it's even more difficult. Not only that, but they're going to be raising, and they have been, and they may continue to, we'll see, raise rates even more. So why does this matter to you? Well, on my channel, I try to help people get out of debt. And whether it be budgeting or various ways of getting out of credit card debt, different types of methods, you name it. And this one video I'll throw up here at the end, I like to always show because it has 7 different methods of getting out of debt. For example, consolidation loan, which is fairly common. You have 3 credit cards, they're each at $5,000. You put them together, you owe $15,000. You get a loan to pay it off. Now you have fixed monthly payments. You no longer have credit card debt at 23%. Maybe you have a loan at 12 or 14%. Well, for some of you, if you're waiting and you're getting behind on payments, whatever it may be, that's affecting your credit score. It's affecting your credit score. Now you call the bank and you want to get that lower interest rate loan because you think that's a great way to pay off your debt, and typically it is. However, they might say, well, we're tightening standards. Your credit is a little lower. You're like, well, it's not that much lower. Yeah, but sorry, we've had to tighten it. We're just not lending to people with scores of that amount or lower. So that's going to be affecting you. So if there's 7 methods I have in this one video of trying to help you get out of debt, and you might be thinking, oh, let me pick the one I like the most. Well, some of them may no longer be available. Like personal loans with 0 collateral. They may not be available anymore for anyone. Or maybe only those with incredibly high interest credit scores. So anyway, my point is, this does affect you, and you need to get out of debt as fast as possible. Okay, I'm not telling you something you don't already know, but these rates might continue to go higher. We don't know what the Fed's going to do. I personally think the Fed's not going to lower rates, and they may even raise rates. We're in what they call stagflation right now. I think that's what they said just recently. And what is stagflation, and why do you care? Well, it basically means all the numbers in the economy that we care about are going in the wrong direction. So, unemployment is going up. Inflation, things are getting more expensive, is going up. GDP, how productive is the United States as a nation, going down. So all the numbers we care about going in the wrong direction. That's not what we want. So we don't know what's going to continue to happen, although it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. So the faster you can start working on trying to get out of debt before your credit score gets lower and before that really starts impacting you, the better. Last thing I wanted to point out Because I always say, and you might laugh, that banks don't care about you and the government doesn't care about you. The banks just want your money so they can reloan it out. The banks are business. They're trying to make money. The government wants your money, right? They're either going to put more money into the system, which causes inflation, which essentially takes money from you because it takes the value of your money, or they just want to tax you more, which they've been talking about. But take a look at this one, where this bank, and this happens quite frequently, not with this particular bank, I'm not making any suggestions about different banks, but this bank was fined, it was JP Morgan, $348 million. This article is in 2024. Something regarding trading. But here's what matters. Imagine this. You drive home every day on a particular highway and you go over the speed limit. Maybe you're speeding. Maybe it's 55 or 60 and you're going 65, 70. You're going 5 over, 10 over. I'm not saying you should speed, but it's pretty common. You see this on highways all the time. Okay. And you do that every day for a couple years and then you get a ticket. Okay. Well, 52 weeks in a year. You've done it for 3 years. You've been speeding for 150 weeks. Maybe you do this 5 days a week, so 5 times 150, what's that, 750? Anyway, you've been speeding a lot, and then you get caught. You got caught one time, yet you were doing something wrong 750 times. When a bank gets caught for $350 million fine, first of all, they did something bad. That's not a small fine, right? And they got fined because they got caught. So are they doing other things they shouldn't be doing? Have they been doing it for a while? Do they continue to do it? Not saying that they do. Just put some thought to that. So you got to realize that even though a personal loan at a lower interest rate may greatly help you get out of debt, it doesn't mean the bank's going to do it. So you need to get your finances in order and try to get out of debt. And try to do it as soon as possible, and particularly in these times, because it's getting harder to get the loans, getting harder to borrow money, and it's getting more difficult to even pay monthly expenses. So try to get things under control. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't put your head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. Take a look at this video. It's got multiple ways to get out of debt, and I'll just show you my whole site here in a moment, and you'll see the different playlists and what you can learn. So I hope this has been helpful, and as always, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm doing this particular show 3 days a week, and then during the week I put out multiple ways of trying to get out of debt and explanations of things like velocity banking and other things you've heard about, just so you understand how they do and don't work.
So take a look at the playlist page for Hack Your Finances. You can obviously subscribe at the top. Playlists to get out of debt, credit cards to use to your advantage, and investing for passive income. At the bottom, we've got a 6-lesson series to help you get out of debt. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel.
So I hope this has been helpful, and as always, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm doing this particular show 3 days a week, and then during the week I put out multiple ways of trying to get out of debt and explanations of things like velocity banking and other things you've heard about, just so you understand how they do and don't work. Thanks for watching, and as always, I hope this is helpful, and I hope it helps you get out of debt and get on your journey to financial freedom.